All right. How about them? How about them Cowboys? Oh, they're going to stink. Oh, are they going to stink this year? And it makes me so happy. So, they have their preseason finale on Friday. And Micah Parsons shows up to the preseason game eating nachos, which, I mean, who doesn't love a good nacho? Pat, best nacho toppings. Give me a top 3. Go.
Well, I need a meat, so I need a chicken. I need a chicken
Okay.
nachos. Got to have the cheese, and
Mm-hmm.
then I would say you got to have the guac, chicken cheese guac.
See, I think you go jalapenos. Jalapenos over the guac. I don't necessarily need the guac. That's why I was smart there. I had you pick 3. I knew that you were going to do something stupid, and of course you did. Anyway, Micah Parsons eats his nachos walking in. And then, in a moment that is oh so cowboy, and I haven't watched the Jerry Jones documentary, but I've seen the commentary. We know what that is, right? In a moment that is oh so cowboy, Micah Parsons decides he's going to lay down on the medical table and basically take a nap on Friday night. And basically take a nap. And it was photographed and it was embarrassing for the Cowboys, but the Cowboys bring this on. Which leads to the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, who, with all due respect, Brian Schottenheimer's not a head coach. I mean, he's there to be Jerry Jones's puppet. Now he has to answer these questions. And this quote, I personally thought was a doozy, Pat, when he was asked about Micah Parsons. Here's the quote. Are you ready? Have you seen this quote yet? Okay. Without talking to Micah, I need to figure out what he was doing and why he was doing it, Schottenheimer said on a conference call Saturday. So until I talk to him, I'm obviously not going to talk about that. Coach Schotty. Without talking to Micah, you need to figure out what he was doing and why he was doing it. He scripted an iPhone notes letter saying he was done with the franchise. He was done. You have not come to an agreement with him on a new contract, nor traded him. So you need to figure out what Micah Parsons was doing. He's quitting the Cowboys, Brian. He told us. He told the world what he was doing. And you have not listened because you haven't, not Brian Schottenheimer, the Cowboys, you haven't tried to come to a true resolution, nor have you, he asked for a trade. He didn't trade him. So you need to figure out what he's doing. What he's doing is being the best George Costanza he could be. You have not let him go. He is trying to get fired. He is being George Costanza. He ate nachos on camera and laid on a medical table. You don't need to ask him what he's doing. He told you what he was doing. You didn't listen. The Cowboys did not listen. Now, will they come to a deal with him eventually? I mean, I think money cures anything. So I'm not saying he's officially quit from the Cowboys, but the Cowboys send crazy out. Jerry Jones does a documentary and can't wait to pump this up in the middle of Micah asking for his wishes. Jerry Jones started training camp by knocking the games missed by Micah Parsons and Dak Prescott. Jerry Jones created a circus. He is Barnum and Bailey. All Micah Parsons is doing is putting on the clown nose and doing his part in playing the circus. If you're going to create the circus, I'm going to be the biggest circus clown because you're not listening to me that I want out of the circus. I can't believe that Brian Schottenheimer said, I need to figure out why he's doing it. Why he's doing it? He asked for a trade. He quit the team. That's why he's doing it. What do you just acknowledge that? This Brian Schottenheimer is so, and it's a shame from the last name. He is so underqualified to be a head coach of this tent that is the Dallas Cowboys. It's not even funny. And if this is the distraction in the way that Brian Schottenheimer is handling this now, on top of the injuries, Diggs may not be ready for week 1, on top of the offensive line injuries, Pat, you could sell your crap elsewhere. The Dallas Cowboys under win total is one of the 5 locks of the NFL season. They don't just wake up and fall out of bed because they have Dak Prescott win 9-10 games. They got worse at the second most important position in football besides quarterback, and that is the head coach. And he is underqualified to handle the antics. The Cowboys are an under for me. Under what, 7? Is that the deal? 7.5, whatever it is. They are winning 6 games or less this year. Take it to the bank. That's the end of it. That's all she wrote for the 2025 Dallas Cowboys. Don't even buy your playoff tickets.
Oof. Woof. Now, I was pretty confident. I was optimistic about the Cowboys earlier in the offseason, thinking that this wouldn't get as bad as it has. Maybe Jerry Jones would have learned from his lesson last year. CeeDee Lamb didn't get his contract extension until I think about 365 days ago, almost. I think it was August 26th last year. Dak, the day that the season started. And for as bad as things were last year, remember they were crushed with injuries. Dak missed half the season. They still found a way to win 7 games. Now, do we now say, wow, Mike McCarthy actually was a really good head coach? Or was it something else, right? Was it Cooper Rush is just a good backup, right? And that offensive line was still pretty good despite some injuries having of their own. I don't know if I think I'm going to reserve judgment on Brian Schottenheimer. I think that's a little unfair, Sean. I think that he has been obviously placed in an unfortunate position, having Jerry Jones as his GM / Stephen Jones and Jerry as the owner, and what's going on with the Micah Parsons situation. I think that the Cowboys under is a decent bet. I also think that if, under 7.5 is plus money, under 8.5 is minus 160. That's a lot of juice to lay on an under. Where I want to attack this Cowboys dysfunction is week 1, is 10 days from now, opening night. And my opinion, my prediction is that Micah Parsons does sign a contract extension with the Cowboys, but it doesn't come until after opening night against the Eagles. I think this is the exact same thing as the Chris Jones situation 2 years ago with the Chiefs. Didn't get as ugly personally, obviously, with the Cowboys being the soap opera circus that you mentioned, Sean. But Chris Jones, remember, missed opening night against the Lions. They show him in the crowd, and it's like, oh, well, what's going on? Is he going to stay a Chief? What's going to happen? They lose to the Lions. Chris Jones signs his contract extension right after. I think that's exactly what happens with Micah Parsons. I think Jerry Jones, just like he did last year with Dak, wasted time, waited for the market to be reset by quarterbacks that were just as good, if not worse than him. And then all of a sudden at the 23rd hour, he goes, all right, here's $60 million for you, Dak. Like, just completely overpays Dak Prescott. He's probably going to do the same with Micah Parsons. Probably going to give him $42-43 million a year, with the most guaranteed money for a non-quarterback in NFL history. And I think Micah Parsons will say, remember Myles Garrett back in March? Oh, I want to play for a winner. I want to trade. I really want to win. $40 million a year for you, Myles Garrett? Okay, sure. I'll stay in Cleveland for the for the remainder of my prime. I think the same thing happens with Micah Parsons, but I do think that he is going to do everything he can to stay dug in. Jerry Jones did say on Michael Irvin's podcast the other day that they took the handshake agreement they had to Micah's agent, David Mulugeta, and his agent basically said, stick it up your bleep. And so they haven't spoken in months, and I think it'll only take the Eagles crushing the Cowboys on opening night for Jerry Jones to finally say, all right, call your agent, let's meet. We're going to give you the most money a non-quarterback's ever made, the most guaranteed money. Let's just figure this thing out.